People commonly claim to see ghosts of nuns and priests in churches. Often they are said to stand at or near the altar praying. A photograph of a cowled monk standing by an altar rail was taken in the early 1960s by the vicar of the church in England. At the time he saw nothing that was out of the ordinary, but his developed film showed the tall phantom monk seen. It appeared to be about 3 meters tall. The film was carefully checked by photographic experts, but showed no signs of tampering.
These days, especially in the States, you have to be a politician or an assassin or something to really be a superstar.
That I would be a liar if I was to say to you, girl, we couldn't get much higher. Come on, baby, light my fire. Come on, baby, light my fire. Try to set the night on fire. The time to hesitate is through. No time to wallow in the mire. Try now, we can only lose, and our love become a funeral pyre.
I can't say I'm sorry because we're not really making it. It's just kind of making itself.
Girl, most beautiful people in the world. Son of a frontier, Indian swirl.
first set at the Whiskey. And it was a pretty bad set. I figured, well, here's a good opportunity to make sure that the Doors get a second listen. In those days, groups didn't frequently get a second listening from the record company. And I stayed for a second set, and they were great. The second set, they were incredible.
Cheetah and Crawdaddy, and writers like Paul Williams and Richard Goldstein and The Village Voice, writing about them on totally intellectual levels. You know, on one hand there was totally this teeny bopper level, and then an intellectual level. They appealed to so many people on so many different levels. So yeah, they were top 10, but they were also, as much as they were pop and bubblegum, they were also dread and intelligence and theater and drama.
The mood I get from most of it is kind of a heavy, kind of
better than
They were top 10, but they were also, as much as they were pop and bubblegum, they were also dread and intelligence and theater and drama.
The mood I get from most of it is kind of a heavy, kind of sort of gloomy feeling, you know, like of someone not quite at home, or you know, they're not quite relaxed, and you know, aware of a lot of things, but not quite sure about anything.
This is the end.
Deep in the English Cotswolds, one of the country's most picturesque range of hills, with ribbon stone walls and ancient golden grey houses, a casual visitor gets an impression of a bygone age of tranquility, undisturbed by the pressures of the modern business world. The visitor might be told of the Cotswolds' glorious past as one of the centres of the world's wool industry. Farmers reared Cotswold lions, as the local sheep were known, and produced fine wool. What remains is only the very best, and wool weaving produces such unlikely bedfellows as coverings for tennis balls and bright red tunics for the Queen's Brigade of Guards. Typical of the story is Brimscombe, once one of the most important inland ports in the country. Barges no longer come to ferry fine-made British goods to the rest of the globe. Yet behind the apparently sleepy facade of a small Cotswold town passing into history lies one of the most dynamic companies with worldwide interests and one of the largest of its kind anywhere. That company is Benson's International Systems, a company which is bringing alive the glory of the old industrial Cotswolds in the heart of Gloucestershire, bringing new skills, new jobs, and playing its part in keeping the countryside alive. Benson's International Systems are the world's leading manufacturer of loose-leaf ring binder mechanisms. Wherever paperwork is kept, it is likely that a Benson's ring secures the pages. Around the world and around the clock, somewhere, someone is making use of a simple but most effective mechanism. One of Benson's 650 different products, making stored information easily accessible and adding new material at the flick of a finger. More than this, Benson's are close to their customers worldwide. They are the only company of its kind with subsidiaries on 4 continents. They take orders for ring mechanisms in Sydney, Melbourne, Toronto, Vorden in Holland, New Jersey, Indiana, Los Angeles, Paris, France, and Singapore.
Get me Ulf Broad in Singapore, please. Thank you.
Singapore is typical of Benson's determination to supply the goods on time anywhere in the world. By spreading their manufacturing base, the company ensures that production of their many different ring mechanisms is continuous and can meet any order of any size. The company provides a complete range of systems, from storage of hundreds of computer floppy disks down to a child's homework book. In the 1920s, Richard Bennett, a Birmingham toolmaker, was introduced to the American idea of the snapshot ring. He could see that this simple but effective metal device would revolutionize paperwork everywhere. He founded Bennett & Sons, or Benson's, in 1921. Today there are few people of any age who have not handled one of Benson's gleaming ring mechanisms with its characteristic snapping action. Ring mechanisms come in many shapes, sizes and finishes, from the familiar bright nickel to real gold, bright colors in schools and colleges, or corrosion-proof for undersea work. It's all part of making exactly what the customer requires. Whether it is a 10-ring binder for computer handbooks, a tiny 20mm ring for a pocket binder, or a large elliptical 76mm binder mechanism for holding weighty copy. One principle remains constant at Benson's. It is total control over the product, from buying in raw strip steel to packing and dispatching of the finished rings abroad. Each year at Brimscombe Port, Benson's buy in thousands of tons of steel for their factories and send out millions upon millions of shiny loose-leaf ring mechanisms. Put end to end, each year's production would circle the globe. Quality control ensures there are few failures, and customers rely on the quality right the way through. It is part of the reason why Bensons thrive, even in times of extreme economic pressure. They expand their output and continue to introduce better ways of making mechanisms, ignoring the fashionable shortcut method of buying in from subcontractors. Production takes place around the clock. Cotswold tranquility is broken temporarily each workday morning as buses ferry in men and women from outlying villages. In the component factory, the slitting line reduces huge steel coils to narrower strip. The high-powered presses bite through raw material, producing ring and wire components of many sizes in their millions. Comparatively calm is the plating shop. Ring and blades are put together for small batch production of special orders,